Good day, I am Jade and I will be presenting to you the communication modes, practices, and style in France. First off, communication is a tool for social change. One of the most important keys to a good relationship because basically it is the process of interaction with people and their environment. Through such interactions, two or more individuals influence the ideas, beliefs, and attitudes of each other. Communication helps you learn new things about someone every time you talk to them. Aside from being an open listener, one must also be a good speaker. Before we proceed to our main topic, let's first have basic knowledge about France and take a look at the next slide. La Tour Eiffel. The Eiffel Tower, La Tour Eiffel in French, was the main exhibit of the Paris Exposition of World's Fair of 1889. It was constructed to commemorate the centennial of the French Revolution and demonstrate France's industrial prowess to the world. It is one of the historical trademarks we think of first when hearing France or its capital, Paris. It is called the symbol of love for many couples from all over the world. People call Paris the city of love because of the romantic atmosphere it exudes. It is also because thousands of marriage proposals was made under the beautiful tower every year. France is the most popular tourist destination in the world. There are many reasons why so many people enjoy visiting the diverse community, including its natural beauty. France is among the globe's oldest nations. It is one of Europe's largest countries. The country is considered to be the gateway to Europe as there are several international airports, ferry terminals, and the French rail service. Language. The French language is the official and main language spoken throughout France. Previously, French was the internationally accepted language of diplomacy and was widely spoken on four continents. According to French Ministry of Foreign Affairs and International Development or FMFAID, French at present is the second most widely learned foreign language in the world. However, the language usually proves to be a difficult barrier for those visiting the country, as most French prefer engaging in their local language. Next, communication. Verbal communication. Communication style. The way a French person communicates is often determined by their social status, level of education, their age, and which part of the country they were raised in. Tone and choice of words will vary among these factors. Generally, they will communicate in French, but some may use the regional dialect. Direct communication. The French tends to be very direct. One reason for this is that the French language is quite precise. Thus, it is difficult not to be direct when using it. This direct style of communicating has often been misunderstood as rude by expatriates or tourists, especially if one is not used to forthrightness. This direct communication style is seen by the French as diplomatic and polite rather than ill-intentioned. Compliments. Compliments are often appreciated, but will usually be received by humble denial instead of a thank you. Humor. The French tend not to tell punch-like jokes. They prefer witty, satirical, and ironic humor. Humorous stories of real-time situations are appreciated, as well as the self-deprecating humor. Nonverbal. Physical contact. Touching during a conversation is accepted and considered a sign of affection only once you have reached a degree of familiarity. Young people will often engage in public displays of affection, such as embracing and kissing. Personal space. An arm length of distance or a bit closer is an appropriate amount of personal space. Eye contact. Direct eye contact is understood as a form of respect. It is considered to be extremely rude not to make and maintain eye contact. Gesture. French people tend to use the thumbs up sign to indicate okay. Making a circle with the thumb and index finger means 0 in France. Greetings are important in France. Thus, it is necessary to greet others correctly to make a good impression. Handshakes are the norm in a business setting or with acquaintances. It is expected that you will handshake with everyone present when arriving and leaving. Among friends and relatives, the most common greeting is the bise, or the kiss on both cheeks. The bise is consisting of placing one's cheek against another's, making a kiss noise, then repeating it on the opposite side. A bise is sometimes accompanied with an embrace. In formal context or when speaking to elders, use last names and appropriate titles until you are invited for your French counterpart to move on to a first name basis. It is important to acknowledge someone by their academic title. In formal setting, addressing someone by their title always precedes any conversation or request. For example, Madame, would you like a drink? Basic etiquette. If someone is invited to a restaurant or a business function, it is acceptable to arrive at the specific time. However, when invited for a meal at someone's house, one is expected not to arrive on time. For French, it is best to arrive about 15 to 20 minutes after the set time. Feet should not be placed on tables or chairs. Unlike here in the Philippines, most of us like eating with their feet placed on the chairs. At the service counter, you are expected to greet the service provider with a brief bonjour or hello even if you are in a rush. With regards to visiting, French people tend not to visit unannounced or uninvited. To do so is considered rude. Guests are usually expected to dress well. It is seen as rude if you do not greet everyone when arriving and leaving, regardless of how many people are present. In terms of eating, table manners are highly regarded in France. Thus, there are a number of practices one should observe when with a French counterpart. Dinner guests should not open their mouth or talk when eating, and should gently wipe their mouth after a drink. When someone finishes their meal, the fork and knife are always placed side by side on the plate on the right or in the center of the plate. When one begins a meal, they typically say bon appetit or enjoy your meal. Gift giving. When invited to someone's home, try to bring a small, good quality gift for the host. Usually, one will bring a bottle of wine. Everyone will put the bottles of wine on the table and will freely drink what they choose. And lastly, gifts are usually open when received. And this ends the presentation. I hope you've learned something because this will serve as your guide to know what to do and what to avoid when with a French counterpart. Thank you for listening. Have a great day.